Hello, y'all. This is the Duchess. I'm coming right back at y'all. The last time I was telling you, kicking some knowledge, dropping a few, jewels to those that could catch them about certain things that's going on with the feminine. This is not against the males at all. This is not against the men, the males, or anything. But this is about getting ourselves together, you know, as a community, as a nation of people. This is not anti any particular group of people. This just is, so it's about bringing light, mental clarity to where there's darkness. And that's what I do. Um, Compassion and caring is the greatest thing that you can have. It's what separates us from those that are in the darkness. It's what makes us evolve, you know? So that's what that's about. But, last time I was just kicking, a little bit of science and, telling you about some things that happened to me that had occurred to me and things that I had noticed, in my day to day life, in the environment that I live in. And it's not only me, it's happening to a lot of people, men and women. Men and women are being attacked, spiritually attacked. And we got to really, really work it out and come together because this is very serious. Okay. And I'm not talking about God so much as I'm talking about coming together and unifying, right, with the divine higher self within us, okay? We're all connected with the higher self to the source. I'm not into the Godship. I've kind of graduated, and if you're not into that, maybe this is not for you. Maybe you'll get there down the road, down the way. It took me a while. So, but peace and love to you on your journey. If this is not for you and you can't really over and understand what I'm saying, it's not for everyone. It has to be within your bloodline and your DNA and your ancestral bloodline. But that's what I wanted to say. Yes, I do have Irish in my bloodline, and sometimes we vibrate on a frequency of those particular ancestors. My phenotype is that of a copper colored sister, what they classify as being black, a black woman today. But the ancestor that was vibing on at one time was more of my Irish ancestry. And, hopefully, I've come out of that. I'm coming back into the ancestors that I really, really can connect to. Not to say I didn't connect to that, but hopefully I helped to, uplift that ancestor so they can go on and, be at peace, because the ancestors sometimes they try to connect with us and take us on a certain path because that's where they're at. That's how they benefit because they haven't really evolved. They're still stuck. So we have many different ancestors. We have to be mindful of the ancestors that we're tapping into and where we're being led to. So it was kind of like living my life like a young Irish female. And now here I am. And I'm at a different crossroads of my life. I've dealt with that ancestor, and now it's time to come back on home. And this is why I have this beautiful symbol here, the beautiful scarab of transformation. And I'm sure there are other people that can identify with this because we have many different ancestors. Copper-colored people are mixed with so many different ancestors. But the question is, what ancestor are you, vibing with? Some of them were disagreeable. Some of them are more agreeable. Just like there are Caucasians or Mukasu who basically vibrate, sometimes they may have what they classify as a black ancestor, a black ancestor. And so that's why you may see them really into, the music and the culture of black people. And that's okay. That's where they're at. And like I said, what I really feel more secure with, where I feel more comfortable, the ancestors that I feel most comfortable with were and are the ancestors of Nubia. Okay, that goes back to a very long bloodline. It's all about the bloodline, children. Okay, it's all about the bloodline. I call you my children, and I also call you ladies and gentlemen, because you have to grow. All children have to grow. We all have to grow, right? We can't stay in um, the same level, or the same level of consciousness, I should say, for years and years and years and not grow. Okay. So with that said, I came up with this poem some years ago when I was in college, and I was inspired by the ancestors. Okay. The beautiful ancestors. And calling upon the ancestors that, we're giving them steak and all types of meat and different things of that nature. The ancestors should have, 20, 30 years down the line, the ancestors should have moved on and reincarnated. There's no reason why you should still be, giving meat offerings to these spirits that you call ancestors. The question is, are they really your ancestors? Have we really been freed up as a people, as a person, as a community? Now, I'm just going to speak a little bit more, and I want to say this. There are certain Europeans that some of our more disagreeable ancestors, some of us who carry disagreeable ancestors, did certain things too. And we paid the price. The karmic scales have been balanced. So-called Black people lost our spiritual protection, our spiritual power, abilities, and also our nationality and culture and everything because of some of the things that our ancestors did. And we had to, through generational curses, of course, we had to pay the price. The sins of your foreparents is passed on down to you. So, that's what happened, and the scales of justice had to be balanced. And there's nobody that's special. Nobody is above the law. Okay? So with that said, it goes for all people. All people. You are not superior because of your skin color, the amount of melanin you have in your skin. You are superior because of your attitude, because of your character, because of your actions, because of how you interact with others in your environment and the environment itself, nature, the planet, the universe. That is what makes you superior. Not the technology, not how dark you are, not how light you are, your hair texture and so forth. That's not it. Okay, that's genetically you may be superior, but in terms of the soul, okay? And this is why we fell. That didn't matter in the end. Your skin color, our skin color didn't matter in the end. As we fell, we still had to pay the price. We had to do the time for the crime. We had to do the karma for our ancestors. Some of us are still calling upon some of these ancestors who were the very same ones who put us in the situation or the predicament that we found ourselves in for 400 years. Okay, so be smart, be wise, and be able to discern. Okay? Everything that we see out here that is so-called Black or, philosophy or religion that they say is Black-oriented is really not always in our best interests, okay? It's a lot of corruption and different things and watered down, modified versions of the truth, and people bringing their conditionings in a lot of the teachings that have led us to where we are today. Now, with that said, I really, really want to go into this poem, okay? And I want to say peace, love, and light to all the brothers and sisters, those who are about my aunt, and that's all people on the planet. But because I am a copper-colored woman, I associate and connect more with copper-colored people. That's just natural. That's just natural nature. You find that in nature. You find that the plants, every plant has its own tribe. Peppermint deals with peppermint. Catnip deals with catnip. Spearmint deals with spearmint, right? But they are related, but they have their own tribes. Okay? One of the brothers who talked about this, I would suggest to get the book African Holistic Health by Dr. Lailo Africa. An excellent book to read. But I'm all about Ma'at. All about Ma'at. And I'm willing to work with those people that are about Ma'at, divine order. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We have agreeable and disagreeable in us. The thing is to understand and understand the nature of things and to accept it, and to how you react to those things is understanding and understanding their nature. And that was also another brother, Dr. York. He also taught me. It's a lot of brothers that I learned from, and I want to give them, I want to give them a shout out to let them know thank you. I appreciate that, and rest in peace, Lailo Africa. He was a great teacher. Dr. Benjo Cannon, Dr. John Henry Clark, Drusilla Houston, all of them, beautiful people that paved the way for the rest of us so we can have the knowledge that we have today, okay? Every generation is supposed to be better than the last one, okay? So that's it. We don't want to be, having our children, our descendants to be the same as we were. We want them to be better than we was, okay? Then we know we have done our job by passing down, the torchlight of truth, of wisdom to our offspring, okay, to our progeny. Now, I want to say this. I'm going to sing Black Woman's Rebellion. Not sing it, but say it. Here it goes. I hope you enjoy it. I was inspired in college. My ancestors were working through me big time at that time when I was in college. And I want to say, whatever you decide to do when you come out of high school, live your life. If you know you was put here to do X, Y, and Z, or you have a passion for something, you're really good at it, try to plan and strategize how you're going to get from point A to point B to get to that goal. Do it. Take baby steps and continue on that journey. Don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do. Don't let anybody limit you. There are many people that would try, okay? You are here and assigned here by the source, the divine source. I didn't say God. I'm not into godship. There are many gods, but that's a generic title. That's a 600-year-old word. It's an Indo-European word. I said the source. Start reading the Gnostic text. It teaches about, the difference between the God, what we call God today, and the true source of it all, okay? So with that said, I'm just going to go and do this little poem, and it's called Black Woman's Rebellion. Institutions. Excuse me, you got to, my throat is a little etchy. I can't really breathe today with all these mask things we got to wear. But here we go. Institutions, mass confusion, intrusion, pollution of the mind, predetermined 'cause I'm not learning. To me, they are not of my kind. Those predisposed cut their afros because they are chosen for being blind. Me deceived, make believe, but it feels like I'm running out of time. Why, oh why must I be caught? Tribal wars, battles fought, over and over I cognate the thought. Consciousness calls for my freedom to be bought. Lord, help me through these stagnant days, a deceptive smile, an insinuous maze, rebellion. Teacher, it's simple, she must be crazed. It is not the will of the slave to act this way. Who are they to say who I should portray? Right of the law upholds my slave master's degree. Buppy and Tom tell me to play. Give us your soul, we'll take it away. Grins and bears it, Dave takes care of it. Give us your soul, nigga. We glad to prepare it. My mind withers. My forehead cracks a vein. My consciousness won't deliver. I'm going insane. Death, 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 death. The hell with them and all their aberrant ways. Inherently strong black woman enslaved. Ain't nothing unusual but what I was gazing. Consciousness comes back to confound me in ways. Spirit and mind, soul is laid. Dedicated to past and present queens. Now, this is a very old poem, so some of the words I kind of modified as I went along, but I did a lot of poetry. I did a lot of singing. And people of African ancestry, even the people that say we're indigenous Aboriginal people here on the land, we came from Central West Africa, Mali, the Olmecs, the Meckians, or Mecca, like Mecca and the Soul Brother. Yeah, that's where we came from. Okay, so we was all over the planet at one time. This whole entire planet is ours. Okay, there's not a time that we did not exist. We are ancient of days. We are immortal. Okay, now I know there's some people out there that may get a little, they may get a little jealous, or they may feel some kind of way because they hear that about, oh well, they think they're all that, and the ego and so forth and everything. No, it's not something where any particular group of people should feel less than. You should always seek to glorify and bring out the best of your race, and in doing so, we are able to connect to the rest of the human race. But really, in all actual reality, so-called Black people are not from planet Earth. We are not Earth seeds. We are star seeds. That makes us trendsetters. That makes us unique, different from everyone else. Okay, so I said it here on YouTube. And I work with all types of people. All people of all different colors, nationalities, and tongues. It's about coming together and working for divine order, ma'at. The reality is that, yes, darker skinned people were here. We are firstborn. That is a fact. That is science. There's also a fact that a lot of our people are carrying many different ancestors within our bloodline. This is why we're so confused. We got so many different spirits that we're tapping into and that are leading us in their direction. So we got to be very mindful in order to be able to discern and look at our life and our lifestyle and say, well, who is that? Or a voice that may come to you and, trying to guide you. You got to say, who that? Where that coming from? Who that? Where's that coming from? Is that the ancestor that I'm familiar with, or that's something else? It happens to all of us. We're being guided by different spirits. Some people can hear them. Those are the more of the low vibrational ones. But really, you're supposed to be led by the inner source. Your ancestors dwell within the higher, more, higher vibrational ones. They're not really into too much talking. They'll just lead you. You'll find yourself being led to the right people, the right places at the right time. The lower vibrational ones will, misguide you and put you in places you don't belong, around people that you don't belong, but even they need rest. They need peace in their lives. So, I had an Irish ancestor, and obviously, these ancestors, sometimes they're low vibrational. You need to send them off to a place of peace, because they're restless and they're trying to take over your life to direct you because they don't have a physical body. This is why they're trying to direct you where they want to go to fulfill their life through you. Okay? It's a thing of knowing spirituality, the spirit world, and how it operates, right? This is not a thing of black and white. It's a thing where anybody can have this, where you have low vibrational entities that are directing your life. It's about healing. And that's what That's what I'm about. I'm about healing. I'm about ma'at, divine order. Okay, and I work with those that are about ma'at, divine order. It doesn't mean that I don't, I look down upon those that are not. It's just that many people are programmed to behave in a certain way where we would cast them as being evil and wicked. A lot of people get caught up in low vibrational things over many lifetimes and they can't get out of it. Contracts and different things that have been made with certain entities from past lives and ancestors and generational curses that they're caught up in and so forth. It's kind of like what a lot of our people, so-called Black people, copper colored people have gone through. We've gotten caught up in different entities that we've called, God, and giving them our power and believing in them, our attention and our prayers. And, we get caught and stuck in, these contracts. Then we pass it on to our descendants, or it's passed on to us, so I call them unconscionable contracts. But anyway, we didn't. A lot of our ancestors, our grandmothers and great grandmothers and great grandfathers, they didn't know what they were doing, and a lot of them were coerced, really pushed into believing, pressured into believing in these entities. There's only the source, babies. That's it. It's very simple. The source of it all. The source where all of it started, all of it came out of, we was projected out of, that's it. Anyone telling you to worship them or to give your power over